Well, good evening. I am before you. I had already spoken. I would like to talk for the resolutions. My topic is that how Panini wrote about the language, which descends from its origin, and how that language creates things like Mahabharata. Because we are looking at the resolution, how to resolve these conflicts. Because Draupadi told Kauravas ke andhe ke bacche andhe. So that is what put that jealousy in them, and that's how the Mahabharata happened. Of course, Lord Krishna worked so well on it, but basically the bija ropan, the seeding of the discord, was there uh, when Draupadi said that. So Maharishi Panini tells us that how we speak, the language comes from beyond, because we are connected with our divine, with our divinity. And when the language comes from beyond, he used those 5 words: para, pashanti, madhyama, and vaikari. I'm just putting that way as we all understand. Para means beyond. From the house of the Lord, the language comes because we say namaste to the other person who is a soul. We are rather bowing to the soul in him, that divinity in the other person. So this soul is greeting the other soul. We are practically that soul. So that language which one soul has to speak to the other, it is all divine. Two divine people are talking to each other. So the language comes from there. It has descended on you through Brahmarandra. It comes to your seat of the soul. So the seat of the soul is where we are talking about that. These 2 eyes are cameras. 2 optical nerves run in the center of the head, where ears are also connected, and the picture is formed at the back. The medical science tells you this. So where these 2 optical nerves meet is your third eye, the seat of your soul. Through Brahmarandra, it is connected to its source. The outer expression is your attention, as I just told, and it is like an omni scanner. So the beautiful language laden with divine attributes, which is love, compassion, mercy, wisdom, humility, state of heart, planning ability, its execution ability, let us face as it comes, justice and appreciation, etc. All those divine attributes were there in this language. This was laden with all those divine attributes. As soon as it is received by my soul, it is the essence of the language, my dear, not the language. Now, please understand this part. This is the essence of the language, and that essence descends to all different people knowing different languages, because mind has learned the local language. So, my soul hands over this beautiful language to my mind, and mind was never told that the language comes from there. So mind is dealing with lust, anger, ego, attachment, deceit, fears, and worries, because it deals with the information which is it is rather experiencing in the body, and body deals with hunger, clothes, housing, vanities of the world, sex, and sleep. So this body and mind together, they work in tandem to create emotions. They don't have their own energies, because it is your attention which energizes your mind, because you acquired the mind and you created the body from a single cell to the human body. So that language which is coming from there is handed over to the mind, and mind deals only with lust, anger, ego, attachment, deceit, fears, and worries. So this mind is being operated by the universal mind through high tide, low tide. I talked about in the earlier talk. That triggers your brain, and your moods get swaying. So once this particular high tide, low tide karma theory is operating, it triggers your brain, and the electrical movements from the brain go all over your body, and all those, in Hindi we can call them spandans, the frequencies which are flowing from my brain to the whole body. So body language is formed, and I am just ready with fits to fight, because my mind has taken over from the soul, because it is never told. Because whatever you tell the mind, it knows only that, nothing more than that. So the mind has done its own job to make us suffer through the karma theory and all, because the universal mind is doing this part. So we are not running our own mind. So once the triggering of the body, the electrical movements go all over the body, then it travels down to the central diaphragm. As Maharishi Panini talks about, the language comes from para, then it comes to the Pashanti area. This Pashanti is your head, where there is a seat of the soul, as I explained it. Then it has got a seat of your mind, which is in between the eyes and above the nose, and this rapid eye movement, which is dealing with information, is there. Then there is a seat of your brain. So this is all is happening, I'm explaining you. Then those electrical movements, then they go all over your body. It goes to the madhyama also, the central diaphragm between the lungs and the stomach. It moves. Small puffs of air through the lungs, through the trachea, through the larynx. The language comes out from your mouth as a vaikhari. So para, pashanti, madhyama, vaikhari is the passage of the language. But it has been polluted by the mind. It has been polluted by the body needs, because body and mind work in tandem. They create emotions, and emotions create terrorists out of you. Whereas Lord Krishna talks that you must be nirmohi, because all those emotions, love is not an emotion. Love is caring. You know, the Western scholars have worked on it in the subject psychology. So what they did, they converted that love, that unconditional love, at the level of the mind as lust, and at the level of the body as sex. So this is how body and mind are doing their own job. Whereas the definition of love has not been explained now. We must do that. And the Indian scriptures are the top area, that mother's love is, is unconditional love, and love is not an emotion. Because body and mind together create emotions with all those permutations and combinations of the attributes I have told. So this is how, if we can control the language, pehle tolo or phir bolo. You must first of all hold, and then know yourself whether the mind is polluting my language or my body is polluting my language. If you can understand this, then you can develop that restraining intelligence. Before you speak out anything, you can hold, you can repeat that sentence, and then analyze, monitor it, whether the mind is polluting or the body is polluting. Because you can easily know those divine attributes if it is a language of love. Compassion, mercy, wisdom, humility. Now, wisdom is something, is the divine attribute. It is like an omniscanner. It can study all that mind, all those informations. If you have that restraining intelligence developed, you can see what mind is doing. So this is how things are there. And I hope that I have covered my point. If there are any questions, we can ask. And this is how Maharishi Panini explained. This is how we can resolve the conflicts, by speaking sweetly with others, with divine attributes. This will create all those peaceful atmosphere and harmony, because our attitudes will change, and at the same time our behavior will also change, because that divinity will start flowing. And this will develop by withdrawal of attention in meditation. If we get connected, and then that divinity starts flowing from your mind, it starts percolating, it starts going through your body, 50 trillion cells, and then it goes downwards and outwards into the world through the senses of the body. So this is how, if we can understand Maharishi Panini this way, this can resolve the whole world, and we can live peacefully within our families. Thank you very much. I think I have covered my points. If there are any questions, we can take it up. Thank you.
We can do a brief Q&A. You can have once more. So keep it on. Any quick question and answer? Oh,
please.
My question is that you mentioned mainly Sanskrit grammar was also specified by him. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, my question is that in Sanskrit language, my understanding is that it has karma. Okay. Can it be modified? Can it be broken down? That what karma is generated so that computer can be taught?
Yes, sir, it can be, because if you can monitor that the divine attributes, as I explained, prem, daya, kshama, vivek, dhairya, sheel, namrata, nirbhikta, state of art planning ability or uski execution ability, let us face as it comes, justice and appreciation are the divine attributes. If whatever you are seeing, if you monitor, if it is within this area of divinity, then it is from divine. If it is past and future, it is from the mind, which deals with lust, anger, ego, attachment, deceit, fears, and worries, because it pre-calculates the future. Fears and worries get added as information. And if it is the body needs like hunger, clothes, housing, vanities of the world, sex, and sleep, then you can monitor them. Now it is just restraining for a moment. Just repeat that sentence which you are going to speak, and that does everything. So if we can tell the child in the early years that this is how he should speak, and he is divine actually, because his body has been developed from a single cell in the mother's womb, and how that single cell has got all that information from the father's side and from the mother's side, right from the single cell. 8.4 million species it has crossed. And once the doctor checks your DNA, he tells you that how much it matches with which animal, how much it matches with the monkey, how much it matches with the apes, how much it matches with the rat. So we have crossed all that, and it is the soul, the creative intelligence, which is my attention. It engraves all that information in my DNA. Each cell has got that information. So that cell which is in the mother's womb becomes from one to many. When it travels down to the heart, location of the heart, it transforms itself into a cell of a heart and develops the whole heart. The same cell develops your kidney, the same cell develops your eye, which is much more complex than your brain. So please understand that you are God. Your collective soul is God to these 50 trillion cells in your body. Each cell has got those three things. It has got a body, it has got a mind, it has got a soul. If you donate your kidney, it works in the other body. So we got to bring this, please. You want to say something?
I hope you've heard about Sushmita and Pingla, the two.
Yeah.
Do you have any relation with what you're saying?
Yeah, this is all true, because my Vedas have got all that information. I have given you a brief sketch that you developed your own body from a single cell. How you developed, I'm just going to explain. The first life, which is known as synthesis of proteins, how it is developed. Because all that creation came up, non-material created the material, and your molten earth was there. The comets came and hit the molten earth, and the seas got formed, the upper crust cracked and collided with other things, and mountains and other things were made. So water and the molten lava boiled together, and since the pure water is much more corrosive, so it ate away all those things and created those proteins, compounds of elements. And you, as a soul which is light and sound, connected to your source, particle and wave theory, we have connected with it. If it strikes on pure elements, sir, it converts them into amino acids. It's an intelligent being. And then it synthesizes the proteins which are available in the water. The first single cell comes up like that. And from there, you graduate to the human body. So all those Ingla, Pingla, whatever you are saying, they are all in my scriptures. They are available. You can learn much more from them. I am just telling you a brief part of the whole thing so that you can develop it. And we can connect all this knowledge which I spoke with all the Vedas. And once we do, we are on the top of the world, because we will be able to explain to all the Western world this way, and they will accept it, that you are divine. Because we are trying to say that creation is an intelligent design, and that intelligent being is working in you 24/7. It is digesting your food, it is running your blood flow, your breathing is on 24/7, even while you are sleeping. Body and mind sleep once you go into meditation. From a wakeful state, you enter into a dream. From dream state, you go to the deep sleep. This happens every 90 minutes. But in meditation, something wonderful happens here. That if you are crossing through that dream state from a wakeful state, then go into deep sleep. The next point is Turiyapad, where you are fully awake. And that is how you go out of your body, and one cord keeps this body fit, keeps it running, and you can have an out-of-body experience known as Turiyatit. So this is what is a beautiful explanation out of my Shastras, but then it has to be understood this way and then connect with all those scriptures and quote them regularly. Thank you very much. I think I have taken more time. Thank you very much. Thanks.